morning, everybody. Whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world, this is Coast to Coast. And we had some pretty exciting games yesterday.
Absolutely. It's like everything was going into overtime. They needed extra time to finish everything last night. And
Hey, those Wild Wings remotes were in high demand.
100%. Which one should we start with?
I mean, we might as well start with the basketball game. Double overtime. Gotta like that. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see this game. But now I'm sad I didn't. I just caught the highlights from it.
Well, I will tell you, San Antonio, I controlled the play most of the game. And at the very end, it Gil Alexander, whatever his name is, it's Gilgeous Alexander, whatever his name is, yeah. SGA is gonna. That's how I'll go. Perfect. He literally tied it up single handedly. Yeah. Kept them in it for the first overtime, and then they just got overmatched in the second overtime. It's Wembanyama is able to take over a game, which is surprising. I'm surprised at how big he actually is. I didn't realize he's 7'4" and 240 pounds, 250 pounds. So it's not like he's like a beanpole. He looks like a beanpole because 240 pounds on a person. I'm 240 pounds. I'm 6 foot tall.
So that's the thing, right? Like he is lean for how tall he is. Because when you think of other guys that have been close to 7 foot or, right at 7 feet, they're like 3 bills.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure he'll get there.
Probably.
But, right now he literally took over the game in the second overtime and was able to ice the win. And I think that puts OKC on their heels.
A little bit. Yeah, the Spurs snagging game 1, that's huge. That's huge for them. I mean, I figured the Spurs were the only team that had a real shot at OKC, but taking game 1, that's always important.
Well, they did, and I think that it's so funny to say in a conference championship, but game 2 is a must win for OKC.
Yes. No, I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yeah, you cannot go down 0-2 going into San Antonio. So.
Oh yeah, Wemby had a great stat line: 41 and 24 rebounds.
24 rebounds. 24 rebounds, and they out-rebounded OKC by 20. It was like 70-50 was the stat line in general. The defense was really a lot for both teams. I mean, it really dictated this game. When you go to second overtime, especially in a Western Conference, and the high score is only 122.
No, exactly.
You've played some defense there.
Yeah, I mean, when you figure in regular time, it can get 120, 130 in the Western Conference. You hear double overtime, you're like, oh, that was 150, 160, right? Like,
we'll see, Joe. The fact that you still have them winning it, I know, Jamie, doesn't it hurt that Philly has just been beaten up on Pittsburgh all the time? But Joe, the fact that you have OKC winning this tournament or winning this series,
Spurs are going.
Yeah, Spurs sweep. I don't think it'll be a sweep, but it's definitely going to be a really good series. This is shaping up to be something worthwhile to watch. And
this one seems like it'll be a 6 or 7 game series, which is great for the Knicks because I think the Knicks will cruise through the Cavs.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. So we'll see. We will see. Obviously, we're talking and we're not on the court, you're going to have to shoot better than 40% if you're going to beat San Antonio. And just
Yes.
you can't go shot for shot with them. You're going to have to knock some of these down.
Yep.
And yes, we're going to get to that in just a second because every playoff game went to overtime yesterday.
Absolutely.
And it's like game 1 overtimes aren't as exciting as game 7 overtimes.
No question. That's why I wanted to start with basketball because,
Yeah.
I mean, a game 7 overtime, like that's what you hope for. Right? Every time you were a little kid putting the most pressure on you to make a shot or score a goal or whatever, what was the scenario? It was championship, final play, mate, overtime, whatever, right? It's all on you. And so when it happens, you're just like, oh, here we go.
Well, it was I was watching both games yesterday
Mhm.
and it was cool to watch, very exciting stuff. And there you go. It was just like, hey, this is what the playoffs are about. Like this is every inch has got to be accounted for, and overtime makes that occur. So
Well, and you know, kudos to Buffalo to get back in that game after going down 2-0 in the first, and for them to battle back, push it to overtime. Um, and they had some chances. So, I
they
mean,
did, and I'll be honest, that goal to win it for Montreal was not a good goal for the goaltender to give up.
yeah,
That was a tough goal for him to lose on that goal. Yeah, no bueno. As far as I'm concerned, I think that goaltender is, it should have been a shot. He should have stopped.
yeah,
He had good view of it. He was far enough away. I understand that. Oh yeah, but he just didn't get the pad on it.
yeah.
So hey, such is life. Montreal moves on, and now they face a very well rested Carolina, and
Yes.
they were the only team in the NHL to beat Carolina all 3 times.
Well, and I mean, as long as Carolina's been waiting, like they probably will have some rust.
Uh, Hockey's rust isn't the same as
Well,
basketball rust.
I agree. I agree. But still, there's I mean, it's not because you have so much rotation, but at the same time, they haven't played meaningful hockey in a while because I mean, they got done a minute ago.
Over a week ago.
Yeah.
But that means they're also going to be well rested. And, you could say momentum. Momentum is a real thing, but not as much in hockey. And
Yeah.
I think that we'll see in the first 10 minutes of this game.
Mhm.
It's how Montreal is going to respond because obviously Montreal's got to go from Buffalo, no breaks,
Yeah.
and they're heading right over to, when does that series start? Thursday?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, because Golden Knights and Avalanche, and then yep. So they do get like an extra day, which the NHL is good at doing for Canadian teams. They really want Montreal in the mix so that they can keep the whole country interested in hockey still.
I mean, they're just going to lose in this round, but I mean,
They are.
no, they've been fun playoffs
Across the
like,
board.
yeah.
Like you could say anything about the Sixers and the Flyers both getting swept, but I mean, the Flyers played great games throughout. Sixers, not as much. You know what I mean? But you got to say that the Knicks did play great games.
Yes.
So looking at that series and such, and how that's going to start. That starts on Thursday. It doesn't start on Wednesday, which is so. The Spurs Thunder is already going to be at Game 2 before the Cavs and Knicks begin their series. I thought they were going to start right away, but
See, that's how you know that the league is like, hey, the Knicks are going to dispatch them quick. Let's get theirs ending or starting a little late. That way they end at the same time.
yeah, because it's kind of you expect that this is going to be a 6. It's going to be Game 4 to Game 6. Eh, but such is life. We will see. We will see how well the Cavaliers can hold serve.
I'm going to go with not well. I
Yeah,
mean,
if
they
Harden's
won.
Harden.
Well, that's the thing is they won their last game in spite of Harden, right? Like he did not have a good stat line. He didn't shoot particularly well. I mean, he wasn't even hitting free throws, and they end up winning that game, but it had
Oh,
nothing to
so
do
they
with Harden.
do play tonight. That's what I thought. It's like it said Game 1. All right,
Well, it's
got
because we were talking about hockey.
right. The Knicks and Cavs do play tonight.
Yeah.
So you don't get the first day off. That extra day off, but that makes more sense to me.
I mean, the Steelers they're special. I mean, we might as well talk about the Steelers because you guys signed the relic. So you have Aaron Rodgers coming back, and it's not going to matter. so you have that. Yeah, the Steelers they're just doing a lot of interesting stuff. It's like they're actively trying to have their first losing season in 20 years.
Let's go.
uh, and if Wen's still watching, I was also hoping with you that Rodgers was just going to hang it up and move on, but he's gonna hurt the Steelers one more year, and so we'll see what happens.
Hey, with all the stuff that's going on, it's going to be very interesting to see. And Nashville gets the 2030 Super Bowl.
Yes. That should be cool.
Ooh, and the 2028 NFL draft is going to be in Minneapolis.
Interesting. Okay.
That means it's going to be cold up there.
Right?
We just did the Green Bay. We just did Green Bay. We should have it in like Arizona.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. 1-year deal, $25 million.
Oh, for Rodgers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up to 25 million. I guess he's got a.
Yeah, there's incentives in there, but I mean, and when you think of the quarterback market today, that's not a ridiculous, that's just over a good backup pay, right? Because your better backups are making, 13 to 15, somewhere in there. So I mean, it's not like they gave him a crazy amount of money. The problem is it doesn't get them any closer to where they're trying to go. Like at this point, if you're blowing the thing up and you get the coach out of there and all of that, like why wouldn't you just lean into the fact that, hey, we got to run this, we got to start over, because it's not like they're an Aaron Rodgers away from winning a Super Bowl.
Okay. I'm reading some of these stories
And
that are
Joe's not a fan, so that makes sense.
yeah, and if he bets on Aaron Rodgers, I suspect that Aaron Rodgers will have the best year of his life, and he will wind up taking the Steelers to the Super Bowl or something.
Or he'll have another Achilles pop like that. That's more likely.
Right. Either way is a bad bet.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, they upgraded the roster, but it's not like they upgraded it to something great. Yeah, exactly. They'll be a 500-ish team. That's the problem. Is you're just doing more of what they fired Tomlin for. Or they didn't fire him, they let him go, whatever, but still. And yes, they can have the draft inside the US Bank Stadium. There just happens to be a lot of stuff outside when those events happen. So, but yeah, I don't know. I if I was a GM, I wouldn't have entertained Rodgers coming back. I'd have just been like, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and be terrible this year and put our hat in the mix for a quarterback. Because the problem is say he does exactly what he did last year. He helps you get into the playoffs as a wild card. You go one and done. You're still not in a good position to get another quarterback. No betting. I don't know who you're lying to, Joe. But if you need help, you can bet right here on Coast to Coast. Use the QR code on the screen. Up to 125% of your first 3 deposits, 10% bet guarantee. Bet alongside us right here on Coast to Coast. And if you have a betting problem, you can use this QR code on the. No, just kidding.
And as I'm looking, I'm just reading some of the stories in the NFL. Urban Meyer was trying to get paid the rest of his contract from Jacksonville.
Yes.
And he lost that arbitration case.
Of course. He was a train wreck.
They have decided that, yeah, but even still, contracts are contracts for coaches.
Yeah, so it comes into that detrimental to the team portion. That's how they get out of those kind of train wrecks. And I would say having, chick grinding on him at the bar was probably not a great look. I'd say that solidly falls into that realm. And then just about half the times he opened his mouth while employed by the Jags would have fallen into that. So, I mean, yeah.
Yep. And he wasn't available for comment, and neither the Jags said, we won. That's it. We're done talking about him.
Well, yeah, because they don't want him to have any kind of countersuit possibilities. So they're just like, yep, we're good.
Thanks for voting for us.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
there you go. That's what happens when you bet on Pittsburgh all the time.
It becomes a problem,
especially against Philly. And that was a big surprise this year when the Phillies went out there against the Pirates. Not used to getting the old.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, we beat Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens is not Paul Skeens right now. He's got something going on. I'm not sure what it is. If he's injured or if he's just, the world is working against him a little bit. You know what I mean? He is a human being, so sometimes you got life stuff that kind of gets in your head and what have you. But Paul Skeens isn't as dominating as he.
So no, it's actually been pretty quiet, which is good. That's kind of what you want. The rookie camps went well, right? But yeah, we don't have any noise around the organization, and that is a huge bonus.
Yeah, no news is good news.
Absolutely. And of course, Mariners beat up on the White Sox a little bit, which is good because they have not been playing particularly great over the last few games here. So for them to get a win there was much needed. Hopefully they do it again today because I will be at that game.
And I will be at the Phillies game at 100-degree weather. Like, we are having a heat spell right now, and it's hot.
We are not. It rained last night, so it'll probably still be an open stadium tonight, but it'll be 50.
It's supposed to be 98 by around 3 o'clock today.
Ooh, man.
It made it to 98 yesterday.
Okay.
So, and then of course, over the next couple of days,
I'm wrong. It'll be 62. Woo, man. Better bring the sunscreen.
Oh, well, we get that for Memorial Day weekend. It's rain and thunderstorms and everything for it's 97 today, 98, 96 tomorrow. Then of course, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 66, 63, 59 on Saturday, 69 on Sunday, 72 on Monday.
Yeah, so for ours, we got it'll be Friday 74 and sunny, Saturday 74 and sunny, Sunday as you're getting ready to really do some dumb stuff since most people have Monday off, it goes to 68 and raining, and then Monday is 54 and raining. So just to get you ready to go back to work, it's going to be dark and gray and raining. Be like, sad panda.
Interestingly enough, that's what it's
exactly.
Always.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't generally try and do anything that's like out of town that weekend anyway, because I hate sitting in traffic forever trying to get home. So usually what I'll do is I'll just hang out for that one, and then I'll do my own weekend like a couple weeks later when everyone else I know is working. So,
and Gino, pretty soon we're going to be doing traffic updates too.
Yeah, well, see, the good thing is here in Seattle, it's really easy to do. There are car wrecks on I-5. I haven't seen the traffic, but I can guarantee there are. And if you are coming from the north end, it'll take you an hour and a half to get in Seattle. There you go. That's every day.
And in Philly, it's kind of similar. Schuylkill Expressway is blocked, and the Blue Route to 95 backed up. Around the airport, traffic.
Yep.
People are driving, and there are cars everywhere.
And none of them
going to take time.
We'll let each other in. So traffic is worse.
Exactly. Everything would be easier if everybody just knew how to zipper, but they don't know how to zipper. It's just not that thick.
Yeah, it's the Temu zipper that keeps getting stuck. That's the problem. And yeah, the Spurs have looked really good. That's actually what we opened up with.
Yeah, Boathouse Road doesn't have any traffic because you're not allowed on that road, just about.
Oh, well, I mean, that is one way to keep the traffic light, I guess.
They let the bikes on that road or something.
Hot over there. Nice. So everywhere is warm except Seattle. Like it. All right.
Hey, I heard Denver was like 32 degrees, 33 degrees. They were having a freeze.
Yeah, no, that's dumb. I mean, and we just got done with some really nice weather where it's 80 degrees. So,
and the Indianapolis 500 on Sunday is.
Yep.
Now, when you think of the Indianapolis 500, that's the NASCAR, or is that Formula One?
No. So Indy is its own class, right? So, but they are Formula One style cars, so they are open wheel cars. But an Indy car and a Formula One car are not the same.
Right. But they do race on the same track.
So some of them are shared tracks. Formula One generally doesn't race in Indy. Um, Formula One tends to do a lot more overseas races. Like that's
Well, that's the F1, right? Like, well,
yeah,
I know Formula
that's
One. We're
Formula.
talking about
Yeah.
Formula One type vehicles are
Oh,
in the Indy car race, but it's the F1, the Indy, NASCAR. You know,
yeah, yeah.
then there's the
Those are your top, tier of each one. But yeah, so if you were looking at Formula One versus Indy, it would be kind of like the Cup Series versus I always want to call it the Bush Series because it was that for forever. But so anyway, that next level down. So they look similar, but the cars are very different.
gotcha. And is that mostly because of? Well, I guess it's really because of the money.
It's
You know,
money. It's different rules. Just all of that. So, um, but yeah, I mean, Indy is an awesome race to watch, though.
it would be kind of cool to put just like do like the Le Mans, where it's every vehicle for themselves. Let's just see who can, win that race.
I mean, those are always fun because there's multiple classes out there, right? So there's the overall race winner, and then there's class winners. So that's always kind of cool.
Right. They don't do that very often anymore, though, do they? I guess they're afraid more of the wrecks. Like a stock car that's going to hits an Indy car is going to not work out well for the Indy car. I can imagine.
Yeah, they don't generally put open wheel out there with with full body cars. Usually, it's like a Can-Am style car, and then you'll have like the Corvette and Porsche series, and then you'll have another lower series below that. Um, those will all be out there together. But yeah, they don't generally go with. They don't generally put open wheels out there with anybody else.
Yeah, because you can't have one of them wheels rub up against the fender of a car. It's going to be no bueno for that,
Exactly.
open wheel.
Yeah, you can in normal cars you can tap the doors a little bit and be fine. You do that in an Indy car and your day is over.
Quickly.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I don't know when the next Le Mans race is. Do they have it every year, or is this just like a once every decade type of thing?
No, because I mean they got the Rolex 24 hour that they do, but then I mean it's a race series also. So I mean they're happening. You don't really hear about them anymore for whatever reason. Just like you don't hear about any of the SCCA races anymore. They used to be televised, and now they're almost impossible to find. Um, so yeah, I don't know, but it is a race series, so I mean they do happen a lot.
Okay.
Play by play for the race. All right.
No, I will not be watching that race this weekend.
I do like that there is a rule change coming for Formula One that they had switched to 4 cylinders and hybrid 4 cylinders, right? That's what they've been doing, and they are going back to V8s in 2028. So they're getting rid of the electric and they are going back to high horsepower Thunder machines, which I like it.
Speed going to be different.
No, I mean speeds will probably be similar, right? They generally try not to let them go much faster than they do. You know, 210, 215. That they try not to have them go too much more than that. But they're just very different, today than they were. Obviously, with the hybrid thing, they had their little button to pass and use battery. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of it. And then in with them doing that, Cadillac will be debuting their V engine. So soon as that rule comes through, they'll be running their own. They're actually running I want to say they're running a Ferrari engine for this year and next year until the V8s are back.
Then they're going to go V8. It has to be a V8. Can't be a straight 8.
You wouldn't have the room for a straight. That's so long.
I guess these cams are much bigger than normal everyday cams.
Yeah, I mean displacement wise, they're going to have rules for what it is they have to hit, right? So it's not like
like I said, this is all new to me, so I don't know anything about any of that. So
yeah, no, I mean there's rules, so there's going to be displacement sizes that they're going to have to hit, stuff like that. So
got you. I know that Dodge is going to be getting back in the NASCAR.
Yeah, Dodge is funny because they dip their toe in for a few years and then they jump back out and then they come back in and then they jump back out. But it is better when they're there. You always like to see the big three in there.
Right. Well, I mean, it's the whole Chrysler thing, I think, has been, when they went with Mercedes for a little while, it was like Chrysler Mercedes, like they were using Mercedes parts and stuff. And I can imagine that was part of the reason why Dodge got out.
Well, so the only reason Mercedes even wanted Dodge for a while is they wanted their design facility. So Dodge had a state-of-the-art design facility, and it was easier for them to purchase Dodge, especially because they were in bad shape, steal everything they wanted to steal, and then get rid of it. So which again, I mean, it's not a bad way to go. It's smart business.
Well, and it helped out Chrysler for a little while too, because you wind up with the 300, which was really, poor man's, I think Bentley. You know what I mean? Is really what it was. It was just, but it was funny because Dodge's, facility was really more of a Plymouth. That was all Plymouth, and then they, Daimler came in there, took all that stuff, and then Plymouth disappeared.
Well, I mean, you're also talking about an era that tons of brands were disappearing, right? Because now you're talking about around that 2008 time. And so you saw Oldsmobile go away and Pontiac go away. And I mean, there were a lot of those brands that, didn't make that, as all of the big three really tried to streamline and not go out of business. A lot of those other brands got dropped.
Well, and that was the problem, that they all had the same car, just, we're going to call it, the Buick Skylark is the, Pontiac, whatever it was.
I was surprised that the Buick survived. Like, I thought that either Pontiac or Oldsmobile would have, right? But because all Buick is like a 4-year-old Cadillac. So like all the stuff that's debuted in a Caddy about 4 years later starts to show up in a Buick.
Right.
So, but I mean, I guess it's sort of a mid price range car. And if you had an Oldsmobile or a Pontiac, it would be similar to the Chevy. So like, I get it, but there are some historical cars that were associated with Oldsmobile and Pontiac. Whereas when you're thinking of the Buick, the only cool Buick that you can really point out through history is the Grand National.
Right.
They had some other ones, don't get me wrong, but the Grand National is their hallmark. That was the 80s. So it's been a minute.
Well, yeah, but the Grand National was a Monte Carlo.
More or less.
It was the exact same car.
Yeah, I mean? More or less, just different engine and everything. But yeah, the body was similar.
So it's, I mean, I get it all. I mean, it's funny how these cars come and go and such like that. And sometimes they bring them back, sometimes they don't. I don't expect that Pontiac will ever be back again. Pontiac is...
No. No, I think the only reason I was surprised they got rid of that is they finally started figuring Pontiac out, right? So they had brought back the GTO, changed the name of it to the G8, and it was a super fun car. And of course, for those of you watching, if you are wondering why I know so much about this, I worked for General Motors for a decade, specifically Cadillac. So I worked on all these cars. So,
And I know I happen to know stuff about Dodge and Chrysler because I sold them. You know what I mean? So I had to know the end production, not necessarily what went into them.
So I
But
actually started my automotive career in dealerships at Dodge. So I was our Viper tech. So I used to work on all the Vipers.
well, and there used to be a brand that was associated with all them that was the Eagle.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, with the Eagle Talon and stuff like that. And you
Absolutely.
know, that was the partnership between Dodge and Mitsubishi.
Yes. Well, and the Eagle
Yeah.
was funny because a lot of people, especially if you're younger, you wouldn't know this. That was a four-wheel drive car,
Yes.
and not all-wheel drive. So let's not pretend it's something it's not. It was a four-wheel drive car.
Yeah, the Eagle Talon. It was just like, and it was like it was a car ahead of its time, we'll
Yeah.
say.
Yep.
But it didn't last very long because it was expensive to build.
Yes. Well, and then they switched it over to the Dodge Stealth, right? And that was the cross between the 3000 GT and
Yeah.
Dodge.
Yes. So I remember all of those times and such like that. And you know what? And then the Crossfire came out when Daimler comes in. I was working there then. The Crossfire came out, which was the Porsche substitute.
Yeah.
You know, and it was funny because they came out with that and they came out with the 300. And at that time, Jeep also had this concept car
Mhm.
that was called the Rescue. And it
Oh,
was
okay.
a Jeep Wrangler with four doors.
Oh, yeah.
And that was that back then where all Wranglers used to just be two-door Wranglers. And now you
Yep.
can't even get a two-door Wrangler anymore.
Yeah, the old TJs and YJs, they were all two doors. And
See, and I
then
had an XJ.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, I still have a TJ. So,
Yeah, it's like I like the straight six
yep.
motor. That motor will never die. That was probably one of the best made motors for longevity. It made it a brick on wheels, you know what I mean? So you weren't getting any, like, you were getting all horsepower and not really any top end speed.
Yeah, it was all torque, no power, is what it was.
Right.
Is you could go wherever you wanted. It was going to take you all day to get there. And they ran that engine forever. It was actually one of the things that Chrysler bought AMC for, is they wanted that motor because that was
Right.
actually an AMC motor.
Yes. And that's, you could still run those motors like that's like a diesel motor that runs on gas. You could literally uh, run those engines 500,000 miles without
Yeah.
it losing anything on there.
I mean,
You got to replace stuff all the time, but it's
my TJ sitting outside still has the original 4-liter inline six.
yep, the 4.0.
Yep.
They moved to the 3.7 liter, and it just nope, not the
Yeah. As
same.
soon as they finally got rid of that engine, it was just like, oh, okay, these things are terrible.
Right. That's what, and I'm surprised you don't find as many. I know we're talking vehicles right now rather than talking sports, but there wasn't really much that happened in the sports world
I mean,
beyond the playoffs.
we got here by talking about racing. So, I mean, at least it was a natural progression instead of just like random.
But you know, like even the Cherokee, not the Grand Cherokee, the regular Cherokee, they were boxes on wheels
Yep.
that would last forever. Those vehicles, I still see them around on occasion,
Mhm.
and it's a
Well,
shame
and
you don't see them more.
they also had the inline six.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, went, and you knew that none of the rest of the running gear was going to fail because it didn't have enough horsepower to do that.
Right. The problem with those were rust. That the
Yeah,
frames would rust out. If you were in any place north of North Carolina, all the way across, where you had any bit of salt on the roads for any
exactly.
reason, you'd get rusted out very quickly, and that was the problem with those,
That's
frames and
actually
chassis.
that's one of the great things for the Northwest is we don't salt. We use this eco-friendly brine and have forever. And so we don't end up with the huge rust issues that you do across the country uh, because they don't salt because of all the fish, right? They don't
Right.
want it damaging salmon habitat, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, fortunately, we don't end up with crazy rust problems here in the Northwest. But yeah, if you are Midwest, Northeast, or if you happen to be down in like Louisiana, Texas, and you just happen to be where every hurricane hits, those are generally pretty messed up too.
Yeah. So like Florida, like you can go get a Jeep Wrangler, an old Jeep Wrangler out of
Mhm.
Florida, and you'd be okay. But the moment that you get it up here, you better get some coatings over top of that frame, or else it's gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, it won't matter. It won't matter. In a lot of those, even if you have the undercoating, it eats the undercoating off, and then you still rust out. Like it's bad.
No, I'm talking like you have to go like almost like with the Gorilla coating,
Yeah,
where it's like
vinyl lining. Yeah.
the same type of coating they put on these Navy ships, like the
Oh yeah, yeah,
skid. To that's the only way that you're going to be able to protect that stuff. It's just never any,
yeah.
it's never enough.
Got Jersey in the
Morning, Bill.
house. Most people agree with this, except Steeler
You
fans.
know
Oh,
what?
awesome.
No, you know what? Pittsburgh doesn't think so.
That's why I said if you're a Steeler fan, you're hoping he's amazing. Resurgence, MVP year. Not going to happen, but that's what they're hoping, I guess.
Hey, you know what? I do hope that he is serviceable. Like I would not mind hearing about Aaron Rodgers this year. You know what I mean? Like it's like he's 42 years old and he's playing. When you hear about quarterbacks that are 42 years old and playing, I can go all the way back to Vinny Testaverde.
Yeah.
And at 42 years old, he was quarterbacking Tampa Bay, and they were getting into the playoffs. They weren't doing much in the playoffs, but they were getting there. You know what I mean? And then you hear like, okay, you have Tom Brady, who is obviously,
A robot.
the
Yeah.
the best to ever play the game, maybe, in that argument.
Yeah.
And then you have Aaron Rodgers. I mean, even when you had Drew Brees, who was
Mhm.
at 39 years old doing his thing, there's a piece of me that thinks that Rodgers is going after one of those titles: most yards, most touchdowns. I think touchdowns is really unattainable, but maybe most yards.
I don't know if he'll. Well, I mean, most yards in a season, maybe he wouldn't be able to get the most yards total, just because you know Brady finally passed Breeze, but Breeze had like 5,000 yard seasons. Like
Right, but they got to be fairly close at this point now. I mean,
maybe.
it's I don't know. We don't have a stat guy on here, so we'd have to find it out ourselves.
I mean, we didn't really before, so
Yeah.
let's see. Career passing yard leaders. Because yeah, it's going to be Brady, Breeze, Manning, Favre. Rogers is number 5, and he's in no danger of catching any of them. He is 20,000 yards back.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, like it's not even kind of close. He's at 66,000. Brady was at 89,000. Breeze at 80,000. Um, Manning at 71, almost 72, and Favre at almost 72 also. I mean, he could have an amazing year and he's not catching those guys. He'd have to have, 5,600 yards this year.
All right. So he can catch Manning in touchdowns. With 12 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, he will take over that lead against Manning. It would be the number 3 guy. He would really he'd have to have a couple of good seasons to be able to get to Breeze. And Tom Brady is
untouchable.
Yeah, right now that's going to be way too much for him. And that.
Yeah, I mean, he'd have to play for another 5 years at a minimum.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tom Brady, I mean, just to give you an idea, I know that him and Breeze were going back and forth for a little while, and he only played, what, was it 2 or 3 seasons more than Breeze?
No, he
2.
played I thought he played more than that.
Well, he played 3 seasons in total more than Breeze. He was from 2000 to 22, and Breeze was in 20 that and he started in 2001. But Tom Brady's at 649 passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
And Drew Brees is at 571. It's a lot of touchdowns. I guess it was 40. It's just about 80.
Yeah.
68 touchdowns. I mean, 34 touchdowns a year. And that makes sense.
That does. Yeah.
See? Me playing stat guy.
Gino, it's fine because we also know how to use Google. So
yeah, and Tom Brady is just about the passes completed. He's got more. Interestingly enough, like Favre is still up there. He's number 3 on that list at 6,300, and Aaron Rodgers is, just to give you an idea, has only completed 5,696 passes.
Yeah. I mean, when you think back to Favre, though, like that guy was just throwing it all around the yard. Like, so it's no shock that he's up there when it comes to passing yards and touchdowns. And, he led the league forever in interceptions, which also made a ton of sense.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't bet on that.
But Joe should. Back to the Super. I mean, hey, new year, you never know.
I would not be surprised. If we're doing our way, way, way too early predictions, I will say that the Eagles will be going to the NFC Championship game at the very least.
I think it might be a bird battle in the championship game.
The hard part about that is going to be how your division shakes out.
Oh, of course.
Like you guys are going to be beating each other up a little bit. I mean,
so
of course, Arizona helps. But
someone from the West will be in that championship game.
Well, as you say it, it's going to definitely be Chicago and the Eagles now.
I'm not Joe. There's a pretty good chance. Yeah, no, it's I mean, the West is going to look very similar to what it did last year. Now, we have a tougher schedule, so the win totals won't be the same, but the strength of the teams, and you're probably still going to send 3 to the playoffs.
I don't know about that.
If one misses, it's the Niners. Because the Seahawks and Rams specifically fixed holes in their roster. The Niners, you just expect to get hurt. So, they may miss it.
So here's why I say, and I'm not sure. I feel that any team that by losing one guy, they could falter tremendously. And there's 2 guys on that team, it's the Rams. And if they were to lose, like for instance, if the Eagles were to lose Jalen Hurts,
okay,
I'm not sure that they are going to be anybody else. Andy Dalton's not going to be that guy, and I don't think Tanner McKee is going to be able to come in and fill in that role. I mean, it's going to make things difficult.
If you're talking about losing a quarterback, of course,
But beyond that, I look at Nakua if you lose Nakua for the Rams,
Sure.
you are also like it was like last year or 2 years ago. Had we lost AJ Brown or Jalen Hurts, you definitely would not have had the type of season that Barkley would have had.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean,
that's
you're talking about main components, right? So that
of
would be
course
true for most teams, right? Like if you're the Bills and Josh Allen goes down, yeah, your season's probably messed up, or Lamar Jackson, or I mean, like any of these guys, yeah, if you're losing your number one receiver, most receiver rooms aren't deep enough to overcome that in a meaningful way, right? Um, Salary cap kind of dictates that. Now, Seattle is in a unique position that if you lost JSN, would it hurt? Of course, but they have a pretty deep receiver room in guys that can get it done.
correct. And a really good tight end.
Yes.
So it would be a little bit more dink and dunk, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, I think, that if you lost him for 4 games.
Yeah, no, like that could work for sure.
I think when you lose Nakua for 4 games, that's a 1-3 team for those four.
I
You want to go, like that's what I think. I just don't see them having the depth at that position.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, obviously if you lose Stafford, that team is
That team's done.
wildly different. Yeah.
Done. And that's the hard part. He's also 38, 39 years old now. You know what I mean? So he's got to be very protected. He's got to play like Eli Manning this year. He's got to learn to fight another day.
I mean, he does a fair amount of that anyway. And their line is decent as long as they can stay healthy. Like they do have a good offensive line. Like the Rams are a good team. So as long as they can stay healthy, they can hang with anybody.
And it'll be interesting to see a 49ers team that doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, I don't know that we see that this year. Like I don't know what it is about the way that they have their training, or like something happens because they are the most injured team every year.
Well, you know what? And they were talking about this. It's their practice facility built right next to that power plant.
Yeah,
You look at that, and if you want to talk about possibilities of things that, you know, just the ways of the world and how that stuff affects your body, I mean, it's possible that that's the case, that they're getting all of that excess, for lack of a better word for me to say, radiation coming from that power plant that
sure.
affects their bodies where they are hurt all the time.
Mhm.
Like, so last year I bet on CMC for my fantasy football team, and he
Hey,
worked out. I would
he's the
not do
only
that
guy.
this year.
Yeah, of course.
Not do that this year. Uh, in fact, I would actually go Saquon Barkley this year.
Okay.
Uh, he has had a lot less commercials. When you didn't have as great a season, when you don't run for 2,000 yards in a season
Yep.
and things of that nature, you are a lot more rested.
Yep.
And
Yeah, you don't have all the endorsement.
I think he's going to probably 2,000 yards. No, but I would put if the over under was 1,300 yards, I'd go over.
I was going to say I'd take the over. If the benchmark was 15, I think it would be under.
I have him. I have him at 1,400 yards. That's right where I think he's going to be at this year. And I want him at 1,400 yards. I don't want him at 2,000 yards. I feel like that things get way out of control for that.
Yeah,
And
you need
they
the
learned
to do stuff too. So, yeah.
Right, exactly. So we have a really strong tight end crew now.
Mhm.
Like we have, like I suspect that we're going to be operating in like 12 packages and even 13 packages.
That is something that is getting more spread across the league. It's something Seattle's done for years, mostly because our offensive line has sucked, and so we've needed the help. But it just happens that it works.
There's a piece of me that believes that some of the old school college plays
Mhm.
could come could operate really well in this time. Like
I
the
mean,
wishbone formation. Like you don't see an eye package ever again. Like you may never see that again. Like the eye formation.
well, I mean, most teams don't even have a true fullback anymore, so you almost can't do it. But
Right. But
it,
a wishbone package could be
sure,
something that actually plays anymore. Like you could do that.
sure,
Um,
yeah. I mean, when you think back to, in fact, Seattle used to run that a lot when they went to their first Super Bowl in 2005, when they had Sean Alexander and Maurice Morris. They
right.
ran a ton of that stuff. They'd either run those two, or we did have a true fullback in Max Strong, and so they'd run it that way. But yeah, some of that stuff can definitely come back. I mean, you always see some of those things peek their head back in after, a decade of being gone, because people forget how to defend against it. And you see them pop up, and it's usually wildly successful for a season. And then it goes away, right? Like
Portions of a season though. It's like it's not even like a full season because there's always
yeah,
like the old school defense, DCs. Like Fangio would know how to, fight against that.
for sure.
Now you got to have the personnel to be able to do it. You know what I mean? But it's still that's just like anything else. You got to have the people to be able to do that type of stuff. But I can see some of that stuff, like where I like the Eagles don't have a good enough second running back to
Yeah.
be able to do that type of thing. But there are enough programs out there right now that have two running backs and do running backs by committee that
Mhm.
could go ahead and put both of them out there. And if both of them have good enough hands, like you could have great pass plays because one could stay back and block. And it's in essence, it's that could be called by the quarterback. Like that's one of the all right, yeah, hey, it's X, and it's the other guy. It's going to be staying there to block to be able to cut him and such like that. So there's lots of different things that could be done like that. Of course, I'm not an offensive coordinator, so I there's only so much that I can really talk about this that makes any bit of sense. But there's always renditions of this. You know what I mean? Whether
Oh, of
it's
course.
a true wishbone, or there's one guy back there and then there's one guy in the back set that's like kind of just offset and such.
Yeah, the
So,
offset eye. Yeah. Yeah,
but
it's no, I mean, those can definitely work. And ones that have multiple running backs, I mean, I don't know why Seattle didn't do some of that when they had Walker and Charbonnet. Because
probably
the
because
opportunity,
one of them was always getting hurt.
well, I mean, but you always have the first couple weeks.
Right. But the one thing you don't want is both of them getting hurt on the same play.
I mean,
And
there is
that
that.
was always a distinct possibility. So, and listen, how can you argue with what they did because they
Hey,
won the Super Bowl?
hey, when you win it all, you just be like, hey, you know what? It worked.
100%.
Absolutely. That being said, that does get us to the top of the hour. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. If you're listening on 97.3 ICU Radio, we do have some smooth jazz headed your way. And of course, if you're listening on every other platform, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us get our stuff out to you. Otherwise, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.
Peace.